Hello, whatever time you are watching this episode. You are in Course of Miracles unit. If you're doing them chronologically, this is our week 3. And if you're doing them by topic, this one is Retraining Your Mind, Part 1. And we're going to cover 4 topics: special principles for miracle workers, atonement without sacrifice, miracles as accurate perception, and perception versus knowledge. So those are the 4 topics for our discussion. This is a course in mind training, and it's very important, right? This is not the course of quote unquote enlightenment. This is not a course in spiritual expansion, although both can follow and often do. This really is a course in mind training. You're training your mind to be able to distinguish the perception from the truth and to focus on the truth in order to create the actual fulfilling reality. It states here the reason a solid foundation is necessary is because of the confusion between fear and awe, to which we have already referred and which so many people hold. Awe is the proper reaction in the presence of your creator. So this is very interesting, isn't it? We often mistaken, and we'll go into it a little bit in depth further on, we often mistaken, thanks to incorrect translation in the original script, we mistaken reverence and awe for fear. And instead of reverently witnessing God through love or love through God, we are becoming fearful of the absence of that love that leads to punishment. And so the course retrains your mind to see the absence of love as misconceptions and as the meaningless world, right? Remember, meaningless in English means without the meaning, but the word really is meaningless, because to be absolutely without a meaning is simply impossible. There's just less meaning. You take one absolute truth and then you chip away at it, and there becomes less and less and less and less meaning. We'll go deeper into this concept when you talk about polarity, that there can be no absence of light. Light can be minimized to the perception of complete absence. But because all reality is created through light, even while completely imperceivable, there is a subtle, if not physically identifiable, of course, if you go to the bottom of the ocean, but a frequency of existence of light as a frequency of life. So what has been created is the ultimate reality created by God the Creator. What is being created is our constant perception of this reality and our constant interpretation of this reality. And while we cannot change the existing reality by changing our perception continually, our reality changes. Now, this is so very huge, you guys. We are changing our mind. And when we changed our mind to be able to perceive reality as something absolutely stunningly miraculous, there can be no other way. So the closer our perception is aligned with the truth of reality being love, the more aligned we become with our divine timing, with our divine path, with our passion, the less pressure there is on walking that path, the less pressure there is on focus on time. Those of you that have taken my in-person trainings, you know I draw a stick man. As a matter of fact, if you go to my YouTube Shine website and go an individual session, there is a 40-minute video that you can also find on YouTube that explains the healing process through energy healing. And there's a full introduction to a stickman and its origin. But in a stickman, if you were to imagine a stickman, part of it is conscious, part of us is subconscious in our mind. So our conscious part is controlling only 7% of our reality, while our subconscious controls 93%. Our conscious part is our thoughts, our yes and no. That's our conscious part. Our subconscious part is our emotions. Now, our thoughts set the frequency for our emotions, right? We've covered this before. The electric synapse of a thought creates a magnetic feeling of emotion. That sends into action the frequency through our whole body. Our whole body starts vibrating at a frequency that causes to have certain actions. Once you take those actions, you end up with certain results. So very often when we want to change our reality, we look at results and we want to change results by changing results. That is simply impossible. Those are the results. They're resulting from the wrong calibration of a frequency of our electromagnetic beings. The only way to change those is to change the thought pattern. Now, the free agency allows all of us through the time and eternity to select the perception of truth, which is knowledge, as we'll talk, or to stick to our own illusions and perceptions of truth. That is the concept of free agency. And only by learning how to fully choose the truth of love can we experience the fullness of love. So this is why we're granted free agency and this phenomenal mechanism of a mind to use every possibility to bring us back to love.